What's up, people of the world? It's the 3rd of March, and I'm making a video again. So last night I was talking about the OGs of the world and going off on a lot of tangents and eventually coming to the motif of the video, which was that to be a good person is cool. So I'm here making a video, and I'm just touching base again. Smoking a cigarette, I thought to myself before I made the video, just now, before I started it, that I don't want to make videos smoking tobacco. And I've done that in the past on a different YouTube channel. And I feel that it was bad for communication, and it's sort of a vulgar thing. It's just an eyesore, and it's a little disregarding of the listener. So I'm going to hold off, or I might occasionally puff on the cigarette I'm holding, but I'll make an effort to just focus on these words. Maybe I'll make it through without smoking. I'll just put it out right now. Hold on. I'll just enjoy a smoke in 15 minutes. So, sobriety. Why don't I talk about sobriety? These days, I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not smoking weed. I'm just allowing myself the pleasure of smoking tobacco. And I tell myself, since getting out of jail a few months ago, that it is acceptable to smoke as much tobacco as I need, as long as I don't revert to substances that make me dysfunctional. That being beer and liquor, preferably it was beer and marijuana, weed, the ganja. So this week, feeling a lot of doubt and a lot of reluctance, a little stagnance, a lot of frustration, doubt, mostly. I was thinking to myself, what if I get weak enough to go buy a beer? What if I get weak enough to go hit a joint? And I've had to talk myself through it and ride the waves and be honest with myself and tell myself, if that's what I want, I can do that. But it's not going to contribute, I had to accept, to the life that I want to build. Right now, I'm feeling happy again. I'm feeling joy again. Today has been changing. And in this present moment, I know I'm where I need to be. And I can see a future again. Some days, there's just haziness. And today, I see purpose for myself in my life. I see a plan. I see goals. And I see the process that I need to go about in order to achieve those goals. So I want to migrate to Israel. I'm applying to Nefesh B'Nefesh, the organization that organizes citizenship and migration to Israel, and becoming an Israeli citizen. I'm thinking about my girlfriend, my lovely lady, and I'm feeling happy and content again, and I'm not feeling critical of our relationship. I'm not thinking these superficial things that I was thinking before. She's not young enough, she's not beautiful enough, she's not free enough, she's not youthful enough, she's not. How about all the things she is? She is beautiful, she is old enough. I can even look at it in a different perspective, the age difference. Not only is she my equal in terms of maturity, she's above and beyond that. So to have an older woman is a blessing. I will never be in lacking of being with a mature partner. Even if we were the same age, it might not be the same, but where I'm getting at is just I'm grateful. She is beautiful enough. Our age difference ultimately doesn't matter. She is youthful enough. And she is definitely free enough. My free woman. She's a free bird. What a bird. So I'm being really brutally honest. I'm just saying everything that's on my mind. I had doubts, so I'm thinking negative things about her. And today I get to stand back up with an erect spine and just stand tall and remember that I have a person that loves me. And I'm really grateful to have a partner, because I would sadly be so lonely without her. Maybe if we separated earlier on in our relationship and didn't get back together, after these 10 years we've been together, I could have reestablished stability and groundedness and rooted to become stronger and sturdier and attract a new life to me, a different girlfriend, a bachelor lifestyle, just dating around or getting married if I met the right one. But hopefully I struck it right with her and I did meet the right one. And I know that, to iterate what I was saying about loneliness, after 10 years into the relationship, I know that if I didn't have her now, I would feel this big empty space inside of me. So I'm really grateful to have her. And I'm looking forward to Israel, man. And I'm talking about it with the guys at the house. And it's all coming into fruition. I have to think about it more. I have to, now still on the subject of sobriety, that ties into mental health treatment. I have to continue taking these antipsychotic medications that I've talked about in some past videos for bipolar schizophrenia. I mean, I had some episodes over the years, just screaming at my family, that's the bipolar part. Being passive aggressive, that's the bipolar part. And tripping sometimes, and that's the psychotic part. That's the schizophrenic part. Vibing from far away, astral projection, whatever spiritual labels I put on it, they were forms of psychosis. Hearing things, seeing spirits. After a certain point, they're not spirits, is something I should say. All the phenomenon just fits into mental, correct, incorrect, functional, dysfunctional, good for health, bad for health. And it turned into all these spiritual phenomenon being unhealthy. So I've been willing to take this treatment and get the help through the county and take this medication. And I don't mind that I don't see spirits anymore. And I don't mind that I don't feel vibes from far away or have these conversations that are just like far out. I'm working on blocking that out and living hands-on in contact with other people. And I'm letting that part of myself go. And I think that some of it will stick around. Sometimes I feel vibes from far away and I wish people well, or I put my hands together, like this. I'll feel somebody and I say thank you, God bless you. And that's something I do for myself, is to be prayerful. I believe that other people can feel it from far away, and nobody can take that away from me. So whether I'm taking antipsychotics or not for mental health treatment, for bipolar schizophrenia, nobody can take away my spirituality. But to keep it in mind, keep it in check, My sister's been busy raising a family. I'm not saying her name. I'm keeping her privacy in mind. But anybody that knows me, anybody that doesn't know me, I have a sister. She's older than me. And I'm an uncle, So a couple years ago, she had a kid. And I was just talking about it with another housemate a few minutes ago before he went in. We were smoking a cigarette together. And I was telling him my sister loves being a mom. She seems so happy and excited, and her life has a new purpose. And, I can't wait for this relationship with my sister to continue blossoming. It is becoming something beautiful as of getting out of jail. A different perspective, a different place and state of mind, a different place in the mind. And now I can work on being a family man and keeping my stuff together, my shit together, to say it blatantly, shit, but what I mean is my stuff. Keep my stuff together. Me and my mama are doing good. Mama Bird, I call her. She calls me Sunbird. My mama Bird. She's getting older. We don't know how much time is left. You never know when somebody's going to pass. I lost my grandpa. I lost my grandma. I lost my uncle. I lost a cousin a few years ago. All four of them. And they all passed. And I didn't get to say goodbye to my grandpa when he was in the hospital. I didn't get to say goodbye to my grandma, who died of cancer. I didn't get to meet my uncle, my dad's brother, who passed away. And my cousin, I think he died in his 40s. He died real young. He had 3 kids. And he was beloved of me. He is the cousin that I wish I would have gotten to know. Every time I spent time with him, he was like the coolest guy. He was such a grown man, and I really looked up to him, and he always had something interesting to say, and just sharing space with him, I felt like it was such an honor or a privilege. The word I think is privilege. I didn't know what honor was when I first met him. That's a big concept, honor. But it was such a gift, a privilege to be with him. Like I should be grateful. That kind of feeling, like the person that needs to say thank you was me. And I mean, he had this deep spiritual sense. His name is Peter. And I don't know how he died, but my mama bird, my sister's here. We're all here on this earth still, and we got time together. And my life is taking a form that I never expected. I didn't think that I would be close to my family, yet this immaterialness that is a relationship with my family couldn't be traded for anything in the world. This love, this sharing space, this doing activities together. We're doing it now instead of when we were growing up together, but at least we got to it. We didn't live the rest of our lives without having healthy time together, even though it came late. And my mom would be a person that would argue, we always did things, but whenever I look back at the past, I just see us arguing and being mad at each other and me being selfish. More so that these days, I look back at myself and say a lot of things I wasn't contributing positivity to the outcome of the situations. And it was really on me. I wasn't making an effort. My mom and my sister were doing their best to be this unit, the three of us growing up, without my dad in the picture and without any other siblings. So I was being really selfish growing up. But now, these days, I'm not feeling as selfish, and I have to make a lot of sacrifice to be understanding and not judgmental of my mom or my sister, and just take it how it comes. And just take them how they come. Nobody can change. There's a song by the Growlers, people don't change. People don't change when you want them to. And when I first heard that song, I probably interpreted it really inaccurately as people don't change, instead of people don't change when you want them to, implying people do change, but you can't rush it. And I've thought about that this past year. I thought back to the lyrics of the Growlers, and I thought to myself, my mom and my sister have changed, and I've changed, and I'm grateful for that. There's a positive emotion I feel associated with us developing as we get older. And I realized that there is a message out there that got through to me. Eventually, I wasn't listening with fully open ears when I first heard it 12 years ago. I heard it when I was 19. Some kid in Roanoke Park shared it with me. He was busking. He told me the name of the song. But we've all changed into something beautiful, bright, positive, loving, heartfelt, and there's no room for anger anymore. There's no room for judgment. There's no room for critiquing. I mean, I really just have to embrace the people around me and feel the love overflowing, and I get to experience self-love when I give love to others. And my mom and my sister are proud when I talk like this, and this pride that they feel, I feel like the powerful person. But at the same time, I'm sharing it with them. Without them, I wouldn't have that positive self-esteem. For somebody else to like me and to validate me and to embrace me the way that I'm being. I am reliant upon them. We are codependent. And me doing my part when the wave finally comes to aligning with me and where I am at any given moment emotionally, it's my turn to take that on upon myself when the wave aligns with me. Right now, it's my turn to be the stable thinker. It's my turn to be the person that reaches out and invite people to visit my mom and my sister, to come up with an idea to go to the beach or to visit at the park, or to see my niece. My mom can see her granddaughter, and to see the family, her husband. And when it's their turn, the more trust we have with each other, each time we oscillate back and forth, it just gets better and better. The last time they were at the speaking end of the stick, so to speak. They were holding the talking stick and they were telling me what they believe and what they think. And they were giving me healthy critiquing of my life and giving me input and also feedback that I needed to hear. What I needed to hear, what I should take into consideration. And they totally went through the roof with so much respect for me, with so much empowering energy, with so much acceptance of who I was voicing myself to be, understanding that they can't change me, but accepting me the way that I am and telling me nothing other than a message of freedom to be who I am. They totally gave me permission to be myself, and we adjusted the barriers and the boundaries of where we shouldn't overstep on each other, and we determined that as long as we follow that concoction, that formula, we won't step on each other's toes. We won't accidentally hurt each other. We won't be violent or offensive with our words and our communication. We found the middle ground. And it's moments like this in this video that I'm making right now that I can totally oversee a message like the one I was making in my video last night, talking about OGs and Tupac and Ice Cube and a bunch of other gangsters, Snoop Dogg, and I talked about Paul McCartney for a second. I was trying to convey some really intricate concepts that I couldn't get out correctly in words. I couldn't articulate it, but it's moments like this right now, just to reiterate, that I see none of that stuff matters. I'm clear thinking tonight. I'm clear seeing today. I am in my emotional mind. My mind is connected to my heart. Whatever words there are to express clarity that I'm feeling right now, I'm in a healthy place. And maybe this is a byproduct of focusing on sobriety, right? I talked about sobriety and mental health medications that I'm adamant about continuing to take and that I believe are necessary and I'm going along with and cooperating. I have all these goals and magical things are happening because God is helping me. God has a plan for me. And I continue to believe that and lean on that with faith and trust and an open heart. And everything seems to continue coming to me. It's getting closer and closer, this departure date to Israel, where I will land in Tel Aviv and I'll be picked up by my girlfriend and her son, and we'll go out to have lunch and they'll invite me into their home and say, "We've missed you all these years. Welcome back." And I just can't wait to experience that day. I don't want to doubt my relationship with my girlfriend anymore. It's time to get serious. It's time to not be serious and enjoy everything and not be so concerned with goals or ordinance or limitations or boundaries. It's time to be who we are. And I have to be more faithful. I mean, now eventually something heavy always comes up. But here, I'm just going to go there to that subject. In the first video on this channel, I talked about pornography. And I expressed how I feel about it. The concept of the addiction. The concept of not being loyal to my partner. The concept of it being a modern age where the internet is accessible to all people. And that is on the internet. And it's a part of modern day culture. That most people have used it. That most people know what it is. The fact is it exists. And there's the freedom to use it. And there's the freedom that comes from not using it. I am struggling right now. I mean, this is the awkward part of the video. Everything was like flaming before this. Now I'm just kind of shaking my head, right? SMH. But I'm feeling embarrassment, but I'm getting it out. So I'm struggling with that still. And I'm talking to my partner the past couple weeks about it still. Since I made that video last month, I've been talking to her about it. And we both don't agree with it. We know it's wrong. We know it's not healthy. We know that it's useful. I mean, we look at it with the benefit of the doubt. And she gives me a lot of credit, and she tells me all the reassuring things that I need to hear to accept myself and to feel loved by her. And with that permission she gives me to use it if I want, it makes me want to quit using it even more. So look at that chokehold. Look at that paradox. Look at that contradiction, right? When somebody doesn't put pressure on you and they let you be who you are, you want to do the right thing anyway. It is cool to be a good person. To be a good person is cool, right? So, all right. I'll title this, I think, To Be a Good Person is Cool, Part 2. All right, so maybe I'll make some closure. I'll say an affirmation, a prayerful affirmation. God, I pray that by speaking of such directness on sexuality and freedom of expression and sensuality, and a subject that is very sensitive to many people, that I conclude this video with a remorseful attitude, understanding that it may be offensive to other people and that it might not be the right time to talk about such subjects, and that I offer my complete respect and consolation to any offensiveness felt. And I pray that the people that feel offended receive this prayer and feel love and happiness and healing at the same time that they're dealing with the discrepancy of the controversial subject I just discussed. So thank you for your time. I'm going to end the video. I'll post it on YouTube and I'll make another one tomorrow. That's the plan. Baruch Hashem. God bless.